So here's how technology can sometimes make things more confusing. This is a light example. I've seen way more technologically um, bad problems or just technical problems that have to do with technology. And this is one of them. So I first got a text message with a schedule for this week saying something like Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. Then I got another text message saying Wednesday, um, Friday, and Saturday. And then, after I'm a little confused in texting her, I didn't get any more messaging about which one was right. At that point, I called one of my coworkers and said, "Can you take a picture and send me the schedule?" So at that point, she took a picture and sent me the schedule that was up. When I looked at the schedule, it said Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I was looking at some of the text messages to know when to go out today and tomorrow. I called to double check. Today I'll have to leave at 12ish, 11:45, get there an hour or two early just to make sure if anything happens. Plus I get paid for a lot of time. And then I'll be leaving at 9:30. So today's actually not that bad. It's going to be like a 12 to 9:30. I thought it was going to be a lot earlier than that. Meanwhile, tomorrow is the one where I have to leave at 10:45 until 9:30. Tomorrow is the day. So I actually was a little bit confused on my timing, and I clarified it by making a phone call. But this is where technology gets confusing. You have a lot of different messaging, and people don't want to answer their phones. And that makes it even more confusing to get a straight answer. I just want a straight answer to a simple question. That's it. I have simple questions that need a straight answer. If you answer your phone, I can answer your question and you can get a better idea of what's going on. If I answer my phone, then you can get information from me as well. Things work better when you communicate. Communication is key, but people have lost the ability to communicate properly. They don't ask questions. They don't want to understand. They don't want to get to the point. They don't want to do any of those things. They want to ramble on about stuff that will not help nobody. No, let's get some information that actually makes a difference here. Let's try to push society forward in a direction where we all do better. Instead of all this craziness with the phones and technology and email, yeah, they're good. They're good tools to have. But when you also got to be able to answer your phone, you got to have people answering the phone. Like if you're the hospital and you have 9 different options, and you say for this and this and this, and I just have a question about my file and I don't know what department, it makes it really hard. You need to be able to press 0 and get an operator. You need a live person sometimes. But when you call these robots, operators that tell you to press 1 for this, press 2 for this, press 3 for this, press 4 for this, press 5 for this. They sometimes don't have your question or your option on there. So when that happens, you want to press 0 or the button for the office. But some of them don't have that and they make it more confusing. This is where that new AI will come in, that chatbot, because you're going to see a lot more chatbots being put into these robocall systems. Because that way, when you call in and they say, for this press 1, for this press 2, for this press 3, for this press 4, and you press it and have a question, it will understand you better and it'll be able to get you where you need to be. So this chatbot is very good AI. It can make things benefit, but having people with jobs answering the phone is also excellent. The more this AI, I mean, this chatbot, they also have a version that can take artist jobs. So all the graphic designers just lost their job in the last couple years. They have a robot that can do it better, 10 times better, faster, everything. And it's for cheaper. So they have a robot taking graphic design jobs. They got machines that put out paintings like crazy. They have machines now called ChatBT or whatever, chatbots, that can have full conversations with you and answer just about any question you need. So knowing this, a lot of jobs have been taken. Now that will help a lot of this technologically difficult situations, like when you're trying to ask a question and the robot has no 0 for an operator or to get to the office. That would be very helpful. But think about all the people that are now losing their jobs, secretaries. I mean, where are they going to go? How are they? I mean, they're going to be going to what, low income housing? I mean, their degree is worth nothing now. So there's a lot going on. And one thing we can do is build low income housing. We can try to make sure that society isn't broken. And if you're talking about money, oh well, we need oversight for one. We need a lot of oversight of what's going on in a lot of agencies and businesses. To fund that, you need to delegate money from somewhere else. Well, there's plenty of overpaid departments in America. There is. The military, the CIA, government paychecks. You got all these crazy things going on. Contractors, you can tax them high. You can try to lower the amount of money that we're giving to these agencies. I mean, a lot of them are just wasting through trillions of dollars, too, that could be changing lives. That's another problem. We need oversight of how this money is spent. If you think about all the money that we donated to the housing crisis and then watching all these big houses being built that didn't benefit the people who needed it, or if when you see a shelter overcharging for the food, they're doing that because they can't get the money they need, so they overcharge it. No, we need to make sure the money gets where it's supposed to go. That requires more oversight. Something that is definitely broken. I've seen this broken system. The doctors aren't being overseen. The pharmaceuticals aren't being overseen. The agencies don't got their shit together or the funding they need. They are overseen, but they don't have the funding or the oversee of the money. And that things are just not running properly, and people get hurt when that happens. People like me. I was taken from my mother, and I was normal. I was just hyper. She was only 15, 16. The system wasn't built to support her. Then I go through all these foster homes and all these programs, and I land an adopted mother, and then I'm made to be disabled and have my body just ripped apart by this woman. I have scars, I mean, on the inside. We'll have scars on the outside too from this. I have scars on the inside and outside from what my mother did to me. I will have seizures for the rest of my life. I'll have esophagus and stomach issues for the rest of my life. The medications that she pumped full of me, who knows what else is going to happen from that. And then I have my own drug abuse to worry about, and you don't think that contributed to my addiction? Of course it did. But I blame myself for my addiction because then it's easier to get over. That's why I just blame myself for my addiction. That way I can move forward and keep sober. It's much easier than trying to blame somebody else for your addiction, because there are issues that I can't take responsibility for. I can't take responsibility for being held down and double dosed. I can't take responsibility for all the pills that I was told to take. I tried reporting the side effects. I told them what was going on with my body to the best of my ability. I cannot be held responsible for the lies and the made up stories my mother pushed. Also, I am not responsible for a whole bottle of Epicac or most of a bottle of Epicac going into an 8-ounce cup and then being told to force to drink it. I mean, I would have got severely punished if I didn't drink it. And I only about a drop or an ounce I did pour out in the toilet right at the end after I vomited repeatedly. I'm surprised I didn't bleed blood drinking all that Epicac. And she said it was for a punishment. And she did. She did it as a punishment. She admitted this for years. And before that, I was OD'd on a handful of medication, and she refused to bring me to the emergency room. And I woke up shaky. I woke up with a lot of health problems, and then she just spent years covering it up and moving me around, not establishing proper medical care. So I am not responsible for those things, even though I would like to hold myself responsible somehow. There is no way for me to tell a doctor, well, my mother gave me all these pills and I woke up like this and somehow it must have been my fault. Well, I was given a whole bottle of Epicac, extra Epicac, and it's my fault because I repeated something that was told to me. Well, what did they tell you? Well, I was eating a mushroom. Well, I tried to eat a mushroom one time, and then an older person told me, what are you trying to do, commit suicide? And I stopped. Then about a week or so, or a little bit later, I don't know how much longer later, my nephew was over, younger than me. And then saw the mushroom, and I said, oh, well, why don't I try to eat this again? And then I took a bite, and then I repeated what I was told, because he asked, what are you doing? I said, oh, this is called suicide. It's called committing suicide, I guess, and not knowing what the phrase meant. I had no clue what the phrase meant. I'm 5 years old or something. I'm 5 or 6 years old. I'm really young. But the thing is, giving me Epicac is the right decision. You measure out what's on the bottle, and you give me Epicac. Because at that point, it was still sold on the market, even though now you can't do that because it's recalled because it's a serious, dangerous drug. That's why you cannot buy Epicac anymore in any pharmacy anywhere in the country. But that's not what that was done to me. I was told that I had to get a serious punishment because what I said was wrong, and she didn't want me ever saying or doing those things again. So she gave me extra and poured the whole bottle into a 8-ounce cup and told me to drink about 10 times what you're supposed to take. That is not okay. That is not okay. You don't give any child extra medicine for any reason. And that's not my fault. Now, yeah, I can take responsibility for eating the mushroom. I can take responsibility for repeating something I heard. I did that many times else too. I used to tell people what they wanted to hear, or I would repeat something I heard for an answer, but not fully understanding what I'm saying. I just know that's the correct answer. I don't know why it's the correct answer though. I made that mistake several times. I would repeat something I heard, or I might eat something maybe I shouldn't have. But then again, I had rotten meat forced on me as well. So eating a mushroom, okay, that's terrible. That could cause liver failure. But also food poisoning me, forcing drugs down my throat, those things cause serious harm to your body as well. I mean, this is bad. There's no way I can take responsibility for somebody else giving me a bunch of Epicac causing permanent damage to my body. I can't take responsibility for somebody else telling me to take a handful of pills and then I OD at age like 5 or 7. I cannot. I can't take responsibility for their actions. All I can take responsibility for is I wanted a family and I wanted to sit and watch a movie with them. That's what I wanted that day. I was sitting in the middle of the carpet and I wanted to watch Mr. Freeze with my new family. Instead, I woke up disabled. That is messed up, and I cannot take any part of that and then try to use that to get myself better. With my addiction, I can. With a bunch of things, I can take responsibility and get better. But that is not something that's my fault. That is not something that you can blame on me. That is something that has to be handled, and there's more supporting evidence. This didn't just stop there. This continued for many, 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 many years afterwards, all the way to the day she died. I was on lots of medications that she was telling me to take and brainwashing me, telling me to take all these medicines, even though she was fully aware that something else happened to me. She was fully aware that she was pushing disabilities for Social Security. She was fully aware that these medications were hurting me, and she chose to continue so she could have her retirement. But it's fully, yeah, you can have your retirement, but you don't have to try to drug me, cripple me for Social Security to get it. That is messed up. She had a messed up way of thinking, and a lot of people see this. My father, who should see this, somehow is in some denial, like just shielded himself in some box so he doesn't have to see it. I don't know how he can see these things right in front of him and not acknowledge that they're bad. I mean, he fully acknowledges the bad things I did, and he'll even exaggerate them or try to make up or go along with made up ones, but he can't see the stuff that's right in front of him. You can't listen to your 3 sons or your grandson. You can't see the red flags. You can't listen to the people around you speaking up. No, there's something else going on there. But anyways, yep, this technology is a real problem. And we need a lot more funding in society and a lot less funding to the government branches.